All right, guys, welcome back. So today we're looking at order of operations. And as you can see, I've already written in, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. That represents the specific order we need to use with our operations in order to simplify an expression. So take a second, copy that into your notes or into your notebook, and I'll talk a little bit more about this. So we know that please excuse my dear Aunt Sally represents PEMDAS. I'm gonna write that in right here. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. And I'm sure that most of us remember what that means, what each letter represents. Parentheses are the P. Parentheses are also grouping symbols, so brackets, absolute value bars, radicals, anything like that. All right, so we know that whenever we're simplifying an expression, we have to definitely do the parentheses or anything inside grouping symbols first. Next is exponents. We know what those look like. For an example, we'll just say 3 squared. That would be an exponent. Multiplication and division is next, and we know that that comes from left to right. So we want to make sure that we specify that. The last part, the A and the S, is addition and subtraction, and that is also from left to right. All right, now that we've got the basics covered, let's go ahead and try some out. One suggestion is whenever you are doing order of operations, make sure you do one step at a time and you take your time. All right, let's get started. For number 13, our first example, we're gonna first start by looking for parentheses. I see some here, but in this situation, they're representing multiplication. There's nothing I can do inside that parentheses, inside the set of parentheses, so that doesn't include that. I'm gonna move on to my E, exponents. Still no exponents, so all right, gonna have to move on to the next one. Multiplication and division. I see something here. There is division right here, but there's also multiplication. Now I do multiplication and division from left to right, which means that I need to address this right here before I can do anything else. So I'm gonna grab my handy dandy calculator, make sure you have yours out and ready. And I'm gonna take 54 divided by 3. That gives me 18. So now I'm gonna bring down everything else exactly as it is. The only thing gone is this. So I bring down my 7, the big 7, plus 18, and then right next to that 18 is a 2. Now let's see what we have. 7 plus 18 times 2, well, I know I have to do multiplication first. So I'm gonna take 18 and multiply by 2. That's gonna give me 36. Bring down everything else. Now the only operation left is addition, so I'm gonna add 7. 43 is my final answer here. Let's keep going. Number 14. Looking for parentheses first, or any grouping symbols, and I'm not gonna see them. So let's move on to exponents. Oh, I just see an exponent here. Now, the only thing I'm looking at right now is the 2 is being taken to the power of 5. So I'm gonna make sure that I do that first. So in my calculator, I'm gonna take 2 to the 5th, and I'm gonna get 32. Bring down everything else. So 17 minus 32 divided by 4 plus 6. All right, so far so good. There are no more exponents, so I'm going to move down to multiplication and division from left to right. This is subtraction. Oh, here's some division. I'm going to take that 32 and I'm going to divide it by 4, giving me 8, bringing down everything else. So far, so good. No more multiplication or division. I'm going to move on to addition and subtraction. I see I have subtraction right here, so I'm going to take 17 and subtract 8 and get 9 left over. Bring down my 6. Then I'm going to add my 6 and get an answer of 15. Let's look at our last 2 examples here. First thing we're looking for is parentheses. I see no parentheses here. Next thing, exponents. 4 squared. So I'm going to put 4 squared in my calculator and see what I get. 16. Bring down everything else. So I have 24 minus 16. I just simplified that. Times 3 plus 15. Okay. No more exponents. Now we're moving to multiplication and division. This is subtraction, not that. But I see this guy right here. All right, so I'm going to multiply 16 times 3 and see what I get. 48. So this becomes 48. I'm going to bring down my 24, my subtraction sign, and my positive or plus 15. Next, I'm going to do addition and subtraction left to right. So I'm going to take 24 minus 48. And that's going to give me a negative 24. If I add 15 to my negative 24, I get negative 9. Almost done. One more example. Now this one looks a little bit different, but don't let it confuse you. What's going on first is I do have a set of parentheses, but I can't simplify this quite yet. And I'll just erase a little bit here. Because I can't subtract 7 minus 2 squared, I have to find out what 2 squared is first. So I'm going to put in my calculator, 2 squared, and I find out that's 4. So I'm going to rewrite this whole thing and replace that with a 4. 7 minus 4 in parentheses plus 17 over negative 14 plus 2 times 5. All right. Now I see up top, I can do something inside those parentheses. So I'm going to take 7 and subtract 4, which is going to give me 3. I'm going to rewrite everything else. Below, I notice, well, I'll just rewrite this for now. Okay. So now I know I have to do multiplication and division next, which is right here. So we'll just keep moving down from here. I'm going to keep everything on top, 3 plus 17. And then I'm going to bring down my negative 14. And then I'm going to add whatever 2 plus 5 is, which I know is 10. All right, we're getting there. We'll continue this way. On the top here, I'm going to add 3 plus 17, which would give me 20. On the bottom, I'm going to add negative 14 plus 10, which would give me negative 4. Now, if you put 20 over negative 4 in your calculator, it's going to tell you syntax error because negatives can never be in the denominator or the bottom of a fraction. So, I'm just going to move it up. So it's sort of like out here, out front. So if you took negative 20 and divided it by 4, or 20 divided by negative 4 would give me negative 5. Thanks so much, guys, for tuning in. See you soon.